Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. We have a couple birthdays, couple events to talk about. And like we've been saying, our events are really starting to thin out as we're wrapping up various racing seasons. So we may, as we get into November, may not even have any events to talk about for those days, but hopefully we'll have some birthdays and whatever. But anyway, on this day, all the way back in 1954 at North Wilkesboro, Herschel McGriff wins his fourth and final Cup Series race. He won 4 races during the 54 season. And I want to say he was either 4th, 5th, 6th in points. He had a good season, ran the actual full season that year, or, majority of it, because they were running several races. Herschel never did win a Cup West Series Cup Series combination race. He had some good runs in those, but he never won. But he did win 4 standalone Cup races way back in 1954. Also on this date in 2009, boy, that's a big spread. I mean, there's a couple of other things that happened in there, various tracks and so forth. But I was like, we got a few more birthdays and a few more cards a day, so we'll go with this one. 2009 on this date, Brad Keselowski at Memphis wins the final Xfinity Series race held at that track. Not sure what the situation is with that track. I believe it was sold to Dover Motorsports Group, and then they used it to put another race somewhere else. I really don't know what the situation is with that track. Seemed like a good track, had good racing, but you know, like everyone else, they probably wanted a Cup date and they didn't get it, so they just said, okay, fine, we'll give up. So anyway, 3 birthdays today to celebrate. We got plenty of cards of each to talk about here. Born on this date in 1957, he's the 1988 ARC Series champion. He has one win in the Xfinity then Busch Series race, or Busch Series in 1993 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. That would be Mr. Tracy Leslie. He had a few Cup Series starts in the early to mid 90s as well. I believe he ran a couple races for A.J. Foyt, and I'm not sure why the phone is doing that. It should not be doing that. But at any rate, there's a 91 Max. I kind of got these in order. He ran that number 72 Detroit gasket car owned by Ron Parker, and he ran it for a number of years. That's the team that he did win for at Indianapolis Raceway Park, like I said, in 1993. Ran it for a few more seasons, then their performance started dwindling, and he got released, I want to say, in 95. And then, like, their tracks had him pegged as a future star, but again, that didn't really pan out. So we're getting into the 94 cards, maybe a couple 95 ones here, like this one I believe is a 95. That one definitely is. And that's the 72. Car's a nice looking car. Like I say, he was released. Then he went to the Hensley team, the 63 team that seemed like half the field eventually ran for. And he ran that car for a year or so with mixed results. Didn't really have a stellar career. He was a serviceable driver. I think that's a polite term for somebody that wasn't a front runner but wasn't a back marker. Didn't tear up a lot of equipment. I mean, he did have his share of crashes, but he always seemed to get the most out of his equipment. Up next, born on this date in 1962, is a second-generation driver. His son is currently in the mix to get a spot in the championship four. This is the Buckeye Bullet, Dave Blaney. And Dave's another one of these guys that when he was, and I got thinking about this when I was looking through these, is like, man, when he had a fully funded car, like with Bill Davis and later with Richard Childress, man, he ran rough. He, didn't have a lot of luck. But then when he went to Jasper Motorsports, where he got his best finish of third, got his best finish Robert Presley got a second in that car at Chicago. So Blaney got a third place finish in this car behind Craven and Busch in that 2004 Darlington race, 2003, whenever that was. Like I said, he was with Childers for a year in the 07 car. That just didn't mesh well. He went to Bill Davis's team once again, so he started with Davis, went back to Davis with the Cat car, again, a fully funded team that had Dodge support, and then later Toyota. Of course, Dodge bailed out on them in, 2006. 2007 was Toyota's first year, and they just didn't run good at all. I mean, they had a third place finish at Talladega in 2007 and a pole in New Hampshire that year. Went to Tommy Baldwin Racing and almost won a Daytona 500. They wouldn't have got the track fixed, and I think that was a big thing too that day. There were so many drivers that were gonna have just key runs of their career, key finish, because Blaney was leading. I believe Landon Castle was in the top 5. Somebody else was in the top 5. And, NASCAR stayed a lot later to repair that track than I think if somebody else was leading. I think if Junior was leading, or Johnson, or, Martin, any number of drivers. It didn't have to be a Hendrick driver. It could have been any number of top driver. Could have been Harvick. Could have been Keselowski. Could have been anybody else. I think they would have, after Montoya hit that jet dryer, NASCAR would have just said, nope, don't have time for this. So there's the 93 car that he ran in the Cup Series. And then I have this little calendar. It gives you a look. This was a pretty cool paint scheme, I always thought. And this is just a little 2000 Cup Series schedule that I had picked up way back when. There's the Jasper car. Again, Jasper just never could really make really good-looking paint schemes. And then, of course, the iconic Cat car. It had different looks throughout the years, but definitely easy to spot on track. And our final driver, born on this day in 1983, former Busch Series champion. He's won a couple of Cup races. In fact, let's see here, he's won 3 of them with 3 different teams. He's won with Hendrick, he's won with Red Bull, and he has won with Michael Waltrip Racing. That'd be Brian Vickers. This back when he was in the Busch Series, driving the family-owned car. Then he did get to move up to the Busch Series. Move up to Hendrick's team. Replaced Ricky Hendrick. Won the Busch Series title in that car. Moved to Cup. Had a couple rough years. I guess they had a win in 2006 in controversial fashion. Moved to Red Bull. I didn't care for these uniforms. I don't know what look Red Bull was going for there. I don't know if they was trying to keep like an F1 appearance or whatever. Then they got their branding. Let's get the branding out there. Let's show it off. During this time, he also ran for Joe Gibbs and Turner Motorsports and the Xfinity. So there you see the JGR patch. This one should have, okay, it's the JGR, but he did run almost a full year for Turner in the Xfinity Series with Dollar General sponsorship. And then again, we said Michael Waltrip Racing. He had the Aaron's Dream Machine that he got his last career win in. Now, these, even though they have the person on it, we're going to focus on the car. And if that looks familiar, that paint scheme, that's Kyle Larson's current paint scheme. Ricky Hendrick made it famous. Brian Vickers wanted to keep it, and then Kyle Larson liked it, so he wanted to go with it as well. There's a look at it from the front. And then, let's see here, there's one of the 25 cars that he ran in the Cup Series, the black and kind of blue color, and then kind of more of a red, white, and blue GMAC. Then the Dytek colors as well. Of course, Dytek, one of those predatory lenders of the mid to late 2000s. Red Bull. We have a couple different looks here. I think Red Bull did a pretty good job of their cars. Of course, there's when they went back with the spoilers because the wings just didn't work out. And then I really liked this one. I thought this was probably one of their sharpest designs that they had out there. Really like that silver. And this final one, the only one that I have of the Aaron's Dream Machine that he drove. So there you have birthdays and events for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Really, really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button on the way out. And come back tomorrow where we'll have something else to rip. Thanks for watching.